make sure. So your thought, right? You thought, because I've seen a video, I've watched a couple videos, and it's funny how like when I was I sit and I'll have these like little moments, and I think on something or I'm interested, whatever, and I have these like, oh, I thought of that, kind of like off of Rick and Morty, where it's like make a person think that they thought the thought that they thought like was their own doing, like their own idea, and it's kind of like that thing because it's like it's already been planted, right? So it's like sitting there and going, oh yeah, it's kind of like like I mean, because it is being born and going through the path and then realizing and then seeing kind of what you want to do with it. That's like it's not really like there's a lot of other aspects and things that you can put over it, like, but essentially it seems like what it is. It seems just like birth and life. It seems like, and then eventually after you've done all you needed to do, then you're able to look out, and see out everything, and then then you restart it again essentially. And that's how I saw it. I'm like, because it's like, well, yes, okay, so I was like, oh, right, like the second, okay, so it's just, and then when I put it together, I'm like, it makes sense. And then so it went down that whole little road, right, where it's just like, oh. And then I went to watch the video again, and essentially he was talking about Dolo, shout out to Dolo. He was talking about it like, you know what I mean? That. And I'm like, yeah, right. No wonder I knew that from something somewhere. um. So yeah, I put you thought brought into this dimension, the first dimension, the most dense, the singularity, you being like a singular person. Also, you only having like thoughts about yourself. You only being about you in a sense, and not really having a full scope, which is I'm seeing what this is about life. So you only really have enough of an awareness about you and what you need to take care of. This can go, I'm saying, and I noticed, and of course at any age this can be a thing, but if you were to take it like a baby it makes more sense. But I think any person can be at any, of course, steps in any of these. But it's like I said, so you're singular dimension, you're one dimensional, you're only about you in a sense, and stuff like that. Then you're brought down because you have a thought, regardless, and you're still coming down into this body because it's the best you've developed. You could have been in something else, and then now you're into this human body. So we're going here. Of course, any of them can be applied, but so you have the most dense because, like I'm seeing it's in reverse. So the first dimension is the most dense. And then you have relating, which is now the 2 points, right? Which I looked at it as, of course, relating to the mother within the womb. So now the second dimension is you now having a relation to something else other than yourself. After some time, some process, you go and you're now out into the third dimension. This stuff. So you're in one aquatic place, if you want to, you see it like that in a way, or it's just that, because you can say water, but what else do we call it type deal. And then you hop into your mother's one, and now you're in that. I'm noticing too is a little thing. But now you're relating second dimension. You're relating to your mother. Now I'm gonna try my best because, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it. Like he was able to break it down, but I just liked, you know what I'm saying? I like to. So it's like relating to your mother in the womb is the second. You being born into this dimension is third person. You know, so now you have you, your mother, because it's, you know, the fucking 1 + 1 = 3, and then now you come out in this 3 to be able to relate to you, yourself, and to you, your mother, and the outside. So now you have more wherewithal. You have your surroundings, the 3-dimensional things outside of you now. Judging, having thought, checking around the surroundings. You know, like kids are now learning. So they're checking the surroundings. They're making their bumps, their bruises. They're doing their thing. They're trying to see. They're tasting stuff and realizing if it's good or not. You know what I'm saying? They're literally experimenting because they have to see what the surrounding is, what this means to to know. We say 3D in the surroundings, you judging, but we know that it's in here that you have to do it all, right? So you judge, having thought, checking around the surroundings, like kids, people that are still looking to get out of their circumstances. They're in this one circumstance, they're young, or they're new to something. You just started something, and now you're trying to see how you can get out of this. Well, I don't know how to do this. You know, what ways can I go about this? What are these about? How can I now see this for what it is to get myself out of just this third dimension, me just being in this place, surrounded by people, trying to, you know, go about what job I need to do or whatever thing, whatever task there is. Which is the fourth dimension, judging. You seeing things for what they seem to be, what you claim them to be, what they are to you, things like that. Then making feeling of that judging. How do you feel about what you just judged, what you thought about, you know? Like I said, we don't necessarily want to creep into being judgmental to where it's a total shutdown of the body, because the only thing we can think about is how that, you know, played out for us, how that felt to us. So you're making feeling, putting it into action, combining to create, using authority. So now you have an idea because you've now judged. You now have a feeling about it. You know, like I said, you don't want it to be deep within your psyche to where you can no longer function as you normally would have, to where you can actually you can be clear-headed and then just go for what you need to go for. So now you're able to have that feeling and then put it into action, combining to create something else, because now you have an authority over something. You have now done all the steps to get here. You brought yourself here. You're able to relate to other things. You saw what you know, what you had to deal with, what it looked like, who it was, what it was. You're able to judge it, see it for what it is. Okay, I now know who and what I need to, and who I need to distance myself from or get close to, or who I can talk to more stern, you know, and this, that, you know, I have an idea now. I know, okay. And then I'm now able to integrate that into what does this mean for me and how do I feel about it? What can I do, and is it worth the efforts? What is possible here in these, what is necessary for me in these moments? I now have to go through the steps of well, how do I really feel about this, and was it worth going? Is it going to continue to be worth going through? I've now done all those steps. I got here, I made it, but is this the thing to continue to do? And if I do have to do it, how am I going to go about it? So now it's you were judging, and now you have had that feeling, and now you can take yourself out of it and now be the judge. So you've gone through the 5D, making the feeling and putting it into action, combining to create, using that authority. Now, because you knew, you've seen the circumstances, you did the judging, you had the ideas, you did everything you need to do, you put in the work, you now put it into action. Now you have something from it. You made an authority from that thing. And then now the 6th dimension, becoming a judge, growing up to be able to use a person to see how that plays out. So essentially, like, you have, like, you may be a trainer or something like that, right? Or maybe you're alongside some colleagues or something, whatever the case may be. And you can see, you take note, like you have maybe like an apprentice or something like that. So you're not really, but you're letting them see. And then you tell them to go do some stuff, and you go, oh, no, these are the mistakes. This is stuff you're doing. Look, this is how I used to do it. I don't really know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, look, this is how I'm doing it. Look how I do it. This is how I'm doing it, right? Internship or something like that. Like I said, this is how I've noticed it, and how he was saying it, and how I just decided to piece it together, too. So you're within that 6th dimension. Because you're able to see, do, let them do. Like I said, you went through all of that, got yourself there. You're able to relate to people or relate to your mother, because like I said, you can do both, right? You brought yourself here, you came out, you decided to cut your umbilical cord and start booking it. You know what I'm saying? You saw what the hell, okay? This is how I feel, this is, okay, this, I can see this is this and this is that and that's that, okay? This is how I feel about this as being this and this and that and that now, okay? You know what I'm saying? Now I can put into action, okay, well, this is how I'm going to dip, dodge, and duck, and dip, pass, and dodge all this. You know what I'm saying? This is how I'm going to do this now, right? And then now you go, okay, I've done all this. Dip, duck, dipping and dodging, you know what I'm saying? Now I can see how people, and hey, look, man, you know what I'm saying? This is how you can dip, duck, and dodge, you know what I'm saying? Now you're in the 6th dimension. Becoming a judge, growing up to be able to use a person to see how they play out. Then that brings you to the 7th dimension, learning how you student and coach, how you play. Because now you know how, okay, you had the bumps and bruises yourself, even trying to be a teacher, which brought you back to realizing you were just still a student. Takes you back and forth to each other one. Now you're learning how to become the student coach, giving criticism and critique to people. You now know, look, no. This is how it is, dude. And if you don't do this the way I'm telling you, I mean, you're going to go through it like I had to go through it, but, I mean, that's what made me, but that's your choice. But I'm just telling you, I can expedite you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I can get you there. But, so now you're in the 7th dimension. You have full awareness, for the most parts, of how things are going to play out and what are the best outcomes, right? 8th dimension, experience through it all. Because the seventh dimension is the fruits of your labor, because you now are able to see that, you won the games or you didn't win the games or whatever, but you have proper criticism or critiques to be able to give to a person, no matter the case, right? And 8th is just, the dimension is having that experience, knowing that you know, essentially. There's nothing else to not know, because you've done it. You know. People can tell you about the stuff they know about how you know the stuff. Everybody's in the knowing of knowing. Everybody knows that that's what you've done, and that's what you've gotten out of it. And these are the accolades and the things and all the stuff. You've done it. There's nothing you really can do anymore. You're at that age now. You're maybe 60, 70 or something like that, or whatever the case. Or if, you're just real quick with it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then ninth dimension, which is the last dimension, is the overall. It's teaching to teach. You teach. That's what you do now. You sit back. You've gone through the full scope of what life means to you. You've gone through all the things, and now you're just a teacher. Now you now give what you know is, Now, like I said, you can apply that to the parents the same way. You're getting out of the household, you've done all the steps and things, and now you have your own place, your own stuff, your own, whatever the case. You're doing your own thing the way you want to do your own thing. No matter what it looks like. That's the big one. No matter what it looks like. But now you can teach at that ninth dimension. Now you know for a fact of the overall what's really going on with that thing, field, or whatever the case in your life. So yeah, that's what I got out of it. That's what I put down. That's what it is. It is what it is. It is what it be.